So I was upset, and I ended up saying something that I didn't mean. Like, people say things when they're upset that they don't mean all the time. But since the situation has happened, it obviously blew up 20 times more.
What's going on, my people? Hopefully everybody's having a good one. This story is straight out of Florida, so if you're out in that area, shouts out to you. Be safe and stay like that. But this one's gonna be kind of different, so stick with me. I typically cover crime-related events, past and present, to bring awareness to communities all around the world. But one thing all of those crime-related events have in common is one bad decision to ruin yours or somebody else's life. Which brings me to today's topic. Former NCAA and New York Giants wide receiver Travis Rudolph is on trial right now for 3 counts of attempted and 1 count of murder. But not even the decision he made. After cheating allegations from his then girlfriend Dominique Jones, things got heated between the two, which led to a physical altercation. And the only thing that follows violence is more violence.
Open this door, bro, because this got me. Dominique, stop.
Who are you calling it, bro?
Afterwards, she texted her brother, Keyshawn Jones. Evidence shows they both made threats towards Rudolph.
As soon as I came outside, literally, Tyler, he sucker punched me to my left eye. It was Tyler and Sebastian. It was kind of trying to corner me in. And Tyler, he had pulled out his firearm. And during that time, Tyler pulled out his firearm. Sebastian was like, "You mess with the wrong girl, you're gonna die tonight." And then that's when I went back inside and grabbed my firearm.
The fight spilling out into the street. The video shows Rudolph then running off his property with an AR-15.
I had to do what I had to do, you know what I'm saying, to protect me and my family. My brother.
One bad decision led to one person being injured, one losing his life, and another fighting for his freedom. But like I said, at the time of this recording, this trial is still in motion. Once the final verdict is in and all details are uncovered, I will be covering this case, so be on the lookout for that. So make sure you subscribe. This video is to highlight the importance of decision making. Who you hang around, what you do, what you hear, what you believe is all on you. Think before you act. Bad decision making can have numerous negative consequences. It can lead to financial loss, damage of relationships, missed opportunities, loss of credibility, and even legal consequences.
Sebastian Jean Jacques was shot and killed. Tyler Robinson was also shot but survived. Keyshawn Jones and Christopher Lowe were not hurt.
Would you do anything differently?
It was a matter of life or death at that moment that I had shot. And I'll do the exact same thing if it came down to it.
Now what you're about to see is the result of one bad decision. On the stand, Dominique Jones, and fighting for his freedom, Travis Rudolph. Before we get into it, let me just say, none of these clips are edited or taken out of context to make you feel any type of way about anybody. The opinion you develop is based off what actually happened in order. Although this is day 2, this is the defense. So everything in day 1 will be brought up and addressed. Any edits or jumps you may see is purely to condense the length of the video. And I did my best, but this was a long one. But to give some context, in 2021, Travis Rudolph spent some time in Miami rehabbing some football-related injuries, having to spend time from his then on-and-off girlfriend, Dominique Jones, who lived in Florida. Just having cosmetic surgery, unable to travel, causing a rift in their relationship, causing it to be tested mentally and later on, physically.
Not about the text messages. Isn't it a fact that you guys were pretty much over?
I said I wanted a break, but you know how relationships are. Relationships are iffy. You might say you want a break one day. The next day, you guys might be back together, so.
Well, you told the jury yesterday that you hadn't seen each other for about a month. You remember that?
If you don't see someone, it doesn't mean that you're not with them.
Okay. Well, you weren't with each other during that month. You weren't having any
we were still
relations during that month, right?
We were talking every day, FaceTiming every day, and some days when he would come back down, he would come pick me up and I would see him.
Correct. But you would agree that if you don't see somebody for a month, and prior to that, the implication is that you were seeing them before that the relationship has taken a change in course, has it not?
Because I had surgery.
So the only reason you stopped seeing each other for a month was because you had surgery?
Correct. I was at his house every day before I had surgery, and then when I had surgery, I was only able to move so much, and I wasn't really able to drive in a vehicle that much.
You just said that sometimes he would come and pick you up, even though you told
I had to sit a certain way. I had to do things a certain way in order to go places, yes.
Even though you told the jury yesterday that he took care of you for a week, right? Mm-hmm. While you were recuperating, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yesterday you told the jury that you were concerned because he was in Miami so long and I didn't know where we stood. Remember telling the jury that?
Yes.
So you didn't know where your relationship was at. Isn't that correct?
I didn't know when it came to him being in Miami, but I knew that me and him still had a solid relationship because it was over a year.
Basically did not see him at all for a month, right?
In person because I was healing, but I did see him through FaceTime, on the phone, through text, every other type of communication.
Why would you feel uncertainty if the relationship had changed course? Why did you care that he was down in Miami?
It's not that I cared, it's just that I just had surgery, so I kind of wanted comforting from him and him to be there a little bit more and things like that. So that's more of what it was.
Well, you had some concerns because the minute he stepped out of the house when DJ came home, you took it upon yourself to snoop through his phone, right?
I didn't snoop because he gave me the password, so I just want to clarify that.
Oh, hold on. He did not give you the password that day, right?
He gave it to me to let me know I can look through it whenever I wanted to.
Right, that he gave you that password months earlier on in the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
So this is not a situation where you guys are alone in his house. He says, hey, by the way, here's my password. Feel free to go into my phone. I'm going to go step outside. That didn't happen, right?
No.
Okay. So he walks out for a minute, and you could not resist to take his phone, his personal property, go in, put his password, and start snooping around, right?
Yes, because we were in a relationship and he gave me that password.
Okay. So have you snooped around in his phone on prior occasions with his password?
No, because I just had surgery, so I haven't seen him in I haven't seen him in a while.
Right. So you were snooping around because you were...
I wouldn't use the word snoop.
Overruled.
You were snooping around because you were concerned about him seeing other women down in Miami. Isn't that the bottom line?
The bottom line is he was my boyfriend at the time. I haven't seen him in a month, and I was curious. That's the bottom line.
Okay. You didn't want to lose him, right?
Of course not.
And when Travis said that he found Kyla's body more attractive than yours, you became infuriated. Right?
No.
You didn't?
No.
You weren't upset that he found Kyla more attractive than you?
No.
When you saw the text from Kyla, you told the jury yesterday, it was time for me to go. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. And when you saw the text from Kyla, Travis was still outside, right? He was out with his brother. You were looking through his phone when he was outside.
Correct.
So you waited for Travis to come back into the house to confront him, did you not?
I more so didn't confront him. I just went into the room to grab my things.
So you didn't walk right out the door, did you?
I went to go grab my things, and he seen his phone on the couch, so he kind of put two and two together.
You waited for him to come back in so that you could confront him. Isn't that what's happening?
I didn't confront him. He kind of confronted me about the situation because he seen his phone was open.
You wanted to hurt him, and that's why you stayed in the house, so that you could confront him and then destroy his property, did you not?
No, I wanted to grab my things and I wanted to leave.
Okay. Well, you immediately went off on him, didn't you?
No.
Yesterday you told the jury, I was hurt. I was not angry. You remember that?
Yes.
But you were actually very angry, were you not?
I was more so hurt than angry.
But you were also angry, weren't you?
I was more so hurt than angry.
Yesterday you told the jury that you told Travis 1,000,000 times, I want to leave, and he wouldn't let me go. You remember that?
Yes.
And isn't it in fact that he was the one that was actually trying to calm you down?
Not at the beginning, no.
At some point he was trying to calm you down, wasn't he?
No.
Isn't it true that he was trying to talk some sense into you?
No, I was trying to get my things and leave, and he was trying to stop me from leaving.
You also used the word that Travis was acting erratic yesterday. You remember that?
Correct.
Isn't it the fact that you were the one that was actually being erratic?
I would say he started it, and then, yes, I became erratic right after.
So after you saw the text messages from Kayla, you actually had Travis FaceTime her, did you not?
Yes.
Okay. Did you FaceTime her, or did you have Travis FaceTime her?
I just put the phone up and pressed FaceTime,
Okay.
so she didn't see me or anything.
And the reason you did that was so that she could only see Travis, and you could evaluate or watch the way that Travis was interacting with her. Did you not?
Correct.
Okay. And so what did you, after you saw that interaction, it was your impression that somehow these two had a relationship, right?
I wouldn't say relationship, but something was going on, yes.
It was more than a friendship, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
And that infuriated you as well, right?
No, I'm not going to use the word infuriated.
You were angry?
More hurt.
So you smashed his iPhone not out of anger, but because you were hurt?
Yes.
Okay. You also picked up the metal trophy on his dresser, and you hit him over the head, did you not?
I did not hit him over the head.
So what did you do with the metal trophy?
If I hit him over the head with a metal trophy, would you...
What you did instead, not if...
I held the metal trophy up because he was standing in front of the door. I was asking him if I could leave. He said no. So I picked it up and I said, let me leave. And he ended up raising his hands up and he said, okay, you can go.
All right, so you never hit him with the trophy, you never threw the trophy at him?
Never.
Right?
Not at all.
Okay. You also took his PlayStation and broke it, did you not?
That was far... Are we going in chronological order or no?
I'm asking questions, you're answering them.
Okay.
The question was, regardless of the chronological order, at some point you took his PlayStation and you smashed it, did you not?
Yes, after I was slammed on the ground, I did.
Okay. So you did all these things not out of anger, but you did them because you were hurt, right?
It got to a point where I was angry, but with the questions that you were asking me, was I infuriated about him saying things about Kayla or the other things you're asking me? That was out of hurt, but it did get to an angry point. Yes, it did.
And that's when he was following you outside and he was in your ear telling you that Kayla had a better body than you, right?
It was more than that. It was the bitch word, the fuck you, it was more than just about a female.
Okay, and isn't it true? Let's talk about the B word. You were calling him a broke bitch. You were screaming at him out there on the front lawn, were you not?
After he started calling me one first, yeah, I was.
So you called him a broke bitch. What did you mean by that? That he has no money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So why was that important? Why the fact that he had no money? Why was that something that was important to you at that point?
It wasn't important to me because I was still dealing with him when he didn't have money.
Okay. But why was that important at that point when you're being
because he's saying low blows to hurt my feelings, so as a reaction as a human, I'm going to say low blows to hurt his feelings.
So you were pretty fired up at this point, right?
I wasn't really that fired up, but I was upset and I was reacting to what he was saying to me at that point, yes.
You testified yesterday before this jury that he compared me to other women. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So besides Kayla, who else did he compare you to?
It was just, I can't pinpoint names or anything like that. I don't really remember. It was just a lot of different names of who I am, what I am, okay, and things like that.
And that set you off, right?
Didn't set me off. I wanted to go. It was ready. It was time for me to go. It was just getting too heated.
All right. Well, you saying now you wanted to go, but didn't you tell the jury yesterday? Travis said, "Get the F out of my house." Do you remember telling the jury that yesterday?
I told the jury that I had to go get my things.
You told the jury, then he said, "Get the F out of my house." That's what you told the jury yesterday.
Okay, he might have said that. He said that.
He wanted you out. He wasn't blocking you. He wanted you out of the house.
He wanted me to get out after he told me to go in the house to get my things. So I went into the house to grab my personal items that I brought over there.
Right. He didn't want you there anymore. He wanted you out of his house. That's what you told the jury yesterday.
Okay.
He wasn't keeping you confined in there, was he?
He was.
He wasn't falsely imprisoning you yet on the 6th, was he?
He was keeping me confined in the room. That's why I picked up the trophy.
And that's why he told you to get the F out of the house.
You're not in chronological order, so you're saying it.
At some point, he told you to get the F out of his house, did he not?
After he held me in the room and was not allowing me to leave.
He wanted absolutely nothing to do with you. Isn't that the fact?
I wanted absolutely nothing to do with him.
And isn't true, you told this jury yesterday that Travis said, "I don't like you anymore." You remember that? You remember telling this to the jury yesterday?
He was saying, I don't necessarily remember him saying those exact words, but he was saying a lot of things. Like I said as...
Then why'd you tell the jury yesterday he said, "I don't like you anymore"?
He probably did say that. He was saying a lot of hurtful things.
So he did say that, right?
Okay, so yeah.
Right. right, so he
It's
told
fine.
you to get the F out of his house and he didn't like you anymore, right?
Okay.
Is that true?
Over a million other words, but yes.
Okay, well, I'm asking you about those specific words, not the other million words that he said.
Yes.
So he said a million words?
Not a million, but he said a lot of other
You
things.
just told the jury he said a million words. So is that true?
He said a lot of other
I'm
things.
asking you if your
He said a lot of other things.
my question. I'm asking you if your testimony right now that he told you a million words, if that's an exaggeration or if that's the truth.
Obviously, he didn't say 1 million words,
That's what you just told them.
but he said a lot of other things to me.
Are there other things you've exaggerated about during your testimony?
Not at all. I've been extremely truthful.
Travis, you didn't want to leave because what you were doing was interested in destroying his property, right?
No.
Yesterday you told the jury, I was saying stuff, but Travis started, right?
Correct.
And isn't it a fact that you were the one that actually started this whole thing by sneaking and looking into his phone?
I didn't sneak and look through the phone if I have the password.
But he didn't tell you you could look at his phone, did he?
But if someone gives you something and tells you you are allowed to look at it, I don't believe that is called sneaking.
Isn't it true that you were the first person to become physically violent with Travis and not the other way around?
No.
Not at all?
When we were in the house, he was already nudging me to get out.
You were the one that was first physically violent, were you not?
If you can play something or show me something, I can't recall the exact steps of the moment.
What's going on, good people? So unfortunately, they didn't show the footage from day 2. So this is footage from day 1 of the actual altercation between Travis Rudolph and Dominique Jones, which led to her calling her brother and 3 of his friends to confront Travis.
Seeing the video that you were actually putting your hands on Mr. Rudolph.
Yeah, I said it.
And in this clip that we're watching, was that in direct response to him calling you a bitch?
Correct.
Okay. If you could let it play. All right. These 2 gentlemen who are in the frame right now, caught them in movement, so it's a little blurry, but can you tell who's who?
That's Daryl trying to hold Travis back. That's me trying to go in there and get the rest of my things. And that's Travis being erratic.
So before this, if we could back it up a little bit to what happened on the lawn of the Rudolph residence with yourself and
Okay.
Mr. Rudolph Travis.
He slams me to the ground.
Okay. And is that what you're talking about? His brother is trying to hold him back and pull him off.
Correct. He's saying, I don't know if you have another clip. In another clip, he's saying, stop, like you're tripping.
All right. Keep going. That's what you're talking about, the stop and the pushing him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Can we see the next video, please? Is that Daryl?
Yes.
Now tell us, are you still inside the Rudolph residence at this point?
No.
Continue. It looks like Mr. Rudolph just picked up a brick. What happened there with that brick? Do you remember ever having that in your possession?
I was throwing things that could have been in my possession. After I got slammed, I got very, very, very upset. So that is something that could possibly have been in my possession.
All right. Is one of the things that you threw his cell phone?
Yes, that was way before all of this.
So this was inside the residence?
Correct. This is when I first went through the phone and everything, and in his room is when I threw the cell phone.
Was this throwing it at him as you're accusing him of the cheating or sometime after?
No, I just knew there was videos and things like that of me and him and his phone, so I just threw it because I was like, I was done.
Okay. You mean intimate videos?
Yeah, of me and him.
All right. If you could continue to play. All right, next clip, please. This argument that's happening now, that is not between you and Mr. Rudolph.
No, I'm not there anymore.
Okay, so you have left the residence.
Yeah, like I don't see the cars right there.
Okay, and you had parked in the front of the residence, right?
Yeah, I always park in the front of the residence.
By this time, you've left.
I left.
If you could continue to play. And then next clip, please. You could pause it for us. Now, this interaction between Travis Rudolph and Daryl Rudolph, was that out of the ordinary as far as you could tell between them, their relationship?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Okay. When you left the residence, was Daryl Rudolph, as far as you could tell, upset with Travis about what had happened with you?
100%. All he kept saying is, let that girl go home, leave her alone. And he was holding like Travis back the whole time.
And again, you're not at the Rudolph residence.
No, I don't know what's going on. I've never seen these videos.
Question. Okay, so you were the first one to become physically violent with Travis, not the other way around. Answer, correct.
Yes, I said correct.
You remember that?
Yes.
So you were the first one to become physically violent with Travis, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told us under oath on November 8th of 2021.
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, but today you're just saying that's not
I
true.
didn't say that. I said I didn't remember. I said if you can show me something to recall in my memory. I just said that.
Now, you do remember that you were
Right.
the one that started being physically violent with him.
Yes, after he started calling me names in my face, running me down, yes. I tried to push him away from me.
You may.
Yesterday you testified to this jury on direct examination that Travis manhandled you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes? You've also testified that he picked you up off your feet and slammed you to the ground 2 times. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
So he literally picked you up off your feet and then slammed you to the ground on 2 occasions.
Correct.
And you testified that he was disrespectful yesterday. That's the moral of the story. Is that correct?
Correct.
Isn't the moral of the story is that you sent your brother and his friends to go kill Travis?
No, the moral of the story is him putting his hands on me. That is really the basis of everything. And I didn't send my brothers to kill him.
No, you just sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
I didn't say shoot him.
You sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
Correct.
Tell the jury what the shit is.
When you're angry, you say things. I'm sure everyone in this courtroom has said something when you're... I'm trying to speak. If you want me to answer your question, you have to let me answer your question.
Well, if you were responsive to my question, I wouldn't have to...
All right. Answer the question, please.
Okay. Can you repeat your question?
Question was shit. What does shit mean in the context of that text?
Anything but him.
Okay. So it could have been his brother.
No.
It could have been the house.
Nothing violent toward a person.
It could have been his mother's house, right?
I was upset and my adrenaline was running and I said something that I didn't mean. That's the bottom line of that. I didn't mean for my brothers to do any of that. That's why when my brother left the house, he did not have a firearm on him.
So you're not answering my question again.
Okay.
You told the jury that shit meant anything other than a person, right? That's what you just told them. You remember that?
Okay. Can I clarify the jury?
Finish my question.
Okay.
Didn't you just tell the jury that shit meant anything other than a person? Yes or no?
I would like to clarify that.
Well, answer yes or no, and then you can clarify. Did you not just tell them that?
I did tell them that, but I want to clarify what I mean.
Go ahead.
When I said that, I was upset. I was angry, and I said something that I didn't mean. My adrenaline was running. I am clarifying my answer. Am I not?
Go ahead, finish.
So I was upset, and I ended up saying something that I didn't mean. Like, people say things when they're upset that they don't mean all the time. But since the situation has happened, it obviously blew up 20 times more. But I didn't necessarily mean for anything to happen to Travis, his family, his house, or anything. It was like my second home. I would not want anything to happen there.
All right. So again, when you just told the jury that when you sent the text to go shoot up his shit, to shoot meant anything other than a person.
I just clarified my answer to the jury.
I'm asking, isn't that what you just told them?
This question was asked, answered.
Sustain. Sustain. Next question, please.
Isn't it true that when you left his house, that he didn't slam you to the ground? Well, he didn't lift you up off your feet and slam you to the ground, that you actually tripped and fell.
I didn't trip and fall.
Isn't it true that Travis put his foot out and you tripped over his foot and you fell?
No, that's not true.
So you're telling this jury that the video that we saw from the Ring camera shows him picking you up off your feet and slamming you to the ground.
You can barely see it because Daryl's in the way.
Okay, so it's the video does.
The video that we seen yesterday, you can barely see the full physical between me and Travis.
Okay, but the video is the video, right?
Correct, but nightly.
You're not suggesting to the jury that video was tampered with, right?
No, not at all. But I'm just saying the angle of it wasn't. You couldn't see the full testimony of what I'm saying.
Well, we saw you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Correct.
We saw Travis, right?
Yes.
We saw you fall to the ground, right?
And you saw Daryl in front of the whole entire thing.
And we saw you on the ground, right?
Correct.
We saw you jump right back up, right?
Correct.
And then we saw you storm into the house, right?
Yes, he was saying to get my things.
Okay. You told Keyshawn that Travis slammed you to the ground 2 times, right?
Correct.
You also told the police that Travis slammed you to the ground several times, right?
Correct.
You also told Tyler that Travis slammed you to the ground a couple times.
Correct.
And you also told that to Tierney and Linda, right?
Correct.
And to be clear, Tierney is Tierney Coleman, Travis's sister.
Correct.
And Linda is his mom, right?
Correct.
So you told basically everyone that night that he picked you up off your feet and slammed you to the ground.
Correct.
Now, on the video we saw, you ran or you went back in the house for the purpose of getting your tequila bottle, right?
I was grabbing all my things. I think I still had things on the couch as well.
One of the things you went back into the house to grab was your tequila bottle, was it not?
Correct.
The bottle that you had bought early that evening.
Correct.
That was your bottle, not Travis's, right?
Correct.
And isn't it a fact that you started hitting him, and we saw that on the video yesterday, that you started hitting him with your fists?
Yes.
Okay? And you were slapping him, were you not?
I don't think I slapped him, but I did like throw a punch or two, at him so I can go in there and get my stuff. He wasn't letting me.
Okay, so he was physically holding you and not letting you go in?
He was blocking me from going in. He's telling me to get my things. I'm going in there to get my things. Then he's blocking me saying like, back up.
And he never raised a hand and touched you, did he not?
Yeah, he was raising his hand the whole time, like grabbing me, pushing me back. Yeah, the whole time.
Okay, so did he punch you?
No, he didn't punch me.
Did he slap you?
No, he didn't slap me.
Did he pick up any objects and hit you over the head with them?
No. So
other than standing there, right? He did absolutely nothing else to you.
Just a physical altercation without punching or slapping or anything like that. Just the grabbing me up and DJ trying to grab him. It was.
Where was he grabbing you? Was he grabbing you by the hair?
Just like by my shoulders, but like by my arms, like trying to get out, things like that.
Even though he's the one that told you to get the F out of his house, right?
No, he told me to go in there and get my stuff.
Because he wanted you out. He wanted you out of there,
And I was leaving with my things that I brought.
including your bottle.
It doesn't matter about the bottle, but I wanted my actual clothes and things that I brought because I used to sleep over there all the time.
Isn't it true that after you left the house, you picked up a brick outside on the lawn?
I picked up a lot of things and I threw a lot of things. I'm not 100% sure about everything, but I was throwing things, yes.
Okay. And you picked up that brick. It was your intent to smash Travis's car window, was it not?
It wasn't my intention. I was just frustrated and angry and I was throwing things.
Including the brick, right?
Correct.
Okay. Why do you want to smash his car window?
Like I said, it wasn't intentional. I was just throwing things because I was upset.
And when you were throwing things, you were also screaming things at him, like you were going to send your brother Keyshawn over to kill him, right?
Never, ever, ever said the word kill at all.
Okay, so when you were yelling at him, telling him that you're sending your brother Keyshawn over, it was just to shoot up his shit?
I texted that message. Yes, I did.
No, when you were screaming and yelling at him while you still were at his house, and telling him that you're sending Keyshawn over, what exactly did you
I never threatened him. The messages between me and my brother were only between me and my brother. They have never seen those messages, and so everything has came out.
To this day, you're aware that Travis's car window was smashed, right?
Correct.
Did you do it?
Yes.
When did you do it?
Right before I left.
While Travis was still outside?
I don't know if he was outside or inside, but he was still outside yelling.
Okay, so we saw some video yesterday after you left.
Mm-hmm.
Travis is still outside. You remember that?
Yeah.
So your testimony is that while he's outside, you smashed his car window, right?
No, I wasn't there at that point. I think I was already on my way home at that point because I didn't see those videos. When he came outside with no shirt on and all that, that was my first time seeing that.
So when did you exactly smash it? After you were on the lawn, picked up the brick, DJ and Travis came, they took the brick away from you. You remember that?
Correct.
And then you got in your car and you left. Did you not?
Yeah.
All right. So you didn't break the car window at that point, right?
I was throwing things, so it could have hit it at that point.
So it's possible that you hit it while Travis was still outside, or had he gone back in the house?
I'm not sure.
You also, when you left the house, you called your brother Keyshawn. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay, and you were still crying and upset when you called him, right?
Yes.
And then you also called Tyler Robinson when you left Travis's house, did you not?
Yes.
And you were crying and upset at that point as well.
Yes.
And you told both of them that Travis had picked you up and slammed you to the ground, right?
Yes.
And that he had disrespected you.
Yes.
And you also sent a text message to Keyshawn at roughly 9:45 that Travis dropped you to the ground. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And in response to that text message, Keyshawn sent a group text message to you and Tyler Robinson that Travis is a dead man walking. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's the message that you deleted from your phone, right?
No, I deleted the shoot his shit up message.
And you also deleted the dead man walking message.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember if I did or not.
Phrase, please.
Why
Sustained.
would you delete evidence so that it's not available for the jury to see?
The evidence wasn't deleted for the jury not to see because clearly I'm standing up here right now and I'm admitting that I did delete the messages and I'm confessing that I did turn my phone into the police enforcement. It wasn't for the jury not to see. After all these actions have happened, you have to understand how that looks. It looks ridiculous. Beforehand, if nothing like that happened, it would have just been words that were said. People say things when they're mad. Their adrenaline is running all the time. So that is the reason why I deleted them after I came to the conclusion that there was a shooting.
And you were concerned about that. You had a guilty conscience, did you not?
I still have a guilty conscience to this day. And I will say that to the jury, to everybody in here. Of course I do. That was never my intentions for no one to die or for even for him to be sitting over there right now.
Just to go shoot it up, whatever the shit was, right?
Like I said, I made a terrible choice of words during that time. I was 23. I was young. I was dumb. I made a very, very bad decision when I said those words, but it was never my intentions.
You deleted those text messages because you know that they were incriminating, right?
No. I deleted those text messages because it actually happened, and I was confused and
What actually happened?
Travis shot at them. Okay. So I immediately thought in my head, they're going to think this is, I planned something. Like, that's immediately what I thought in my head.
You were worried about you getting arrested and you getting in trouble and setting this whole thing into motion.
No, I was worried about saying the wrong thing and it actually, something coming out of it. That's what I was worried about.
And you deleted it.
Correct. And when I was asked for it, I gave it to them.
Well, after you deleted those text messages before you gave your phone to Detective Vanderland.
And Detective Vanderland asked me, did you delete anything out of your phone?
I'm not asking you what she said. My question was that you deleted those text messages before you gave your phone to law enforcement. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And those text messages were never found on your phone because you deleted them. Is that not correct?
I don't know that.
And the only reason that we have those text messages is because they were found on your brother's phone, on Keyshawn's phone.
If you know, do you know?
No, I don't know.
So to this day, as you sit here, you have no clue how those text messages were discovered by law enforcement. Because we know they weren't on your phone.
All right, rephrase, it is.
You knew that your brother owned, at the time of the incident, one gun. Is that correct? A Glock?
Correct.
That's your testimony?
Correct. That. But yes, I am aware that the gun was sold to Tyler.
And you're aware that Tyler Robinson discovered since the incident that Tyler Robinson, in fact, did take a gun with him to Travis Rudolph's house, right? If you know.
If you know.
Didn't know that.
So to this day, as you're sitting here, you're telling this jury, hold on. You're telling this jury, as you sit here today under oath, that this is the first time you're hearing that Tyler Robinson brought a gun with him to Travis Rudolph's house. Is that what you're telling the jury?
No.
Okay. So when did you learn that Tyler Robinson brought a gun to Travis Rudolph's house?
I can't remember the exact time I learned.
But you know that now, right? Right?
Yes, I know that now.
So you tell Tyler and your brother to go shoot his shit up, and Tyler Robinson actually brought a gun to his house, right? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Have you ever asked Tyler Robinson why he brought his gun there?
He says he carries his gun
The
on.
question is, did you ask him?
No, I never asked him.
You were just going to give an answer. So which is it?
You didn't let me, so you choose.
Ms. Jones, just answer.
Sorry.
Question was,
What was the question?
question was, did you ever ask him?
No.
Okay, next question.
Is the way you talk to me, is that the way you talk to Travis?
How am I talking to you? I feel like I'm being respectful.
Okay. So you just made a comment to me.
Judge, objection to commenting on the witness.
Sustained.
You didn't call the police that night to report that Travis Rudolph picked you up by your feet and slammed you to the ground 2 times, committing a battery on you, right?
No.
You were battered, though, right? That's your testimony.
Correct.
Your testimony is also that you were basically falsely imprisoned and held against your will. Did you call the police to tell them that?
No.
Okay. Instead, you drove home, right?
Correct.
To Delray?
Yes.
And Keyshawn was there?
Correct.
And you were crying and upset?
I kind of calmed down by the time I got there.
All right. And you and Keyshawn had a conversation about what had happened, right?
Yes.
And you testified yesterday on direct examination that Keyshawn told me I was overly tripping. It's not serious.
Both of us, not just me.
Who?
Me and Travis, like, we're both overly tripping. It wasn't
What
that
does
serious.
overly tripping mean?
Just meaning in relationships, sometimes things get out of hand for no reason, and an outsider can see better than me and him inside the relationship.
Okay, so you told the jury that Keyshawn told you that, right?
Correct.
So your brother is telling you basically that this wasn't that serious, right? Keyshawn told you that, right?
Correct.
So your brother is telling you basically that this wasn't that serious, right?
And yeah, he was going to just go over there and speak with him. Correct.
My question was that he told you that this wasn't serious, right?
I said yes.
So you didn't have any bruises or scratches on your face, right?
No, but I did have injury.
You didn't have any bruises or scratches to your arm, did you?
No.
You didn't have any bruises or scratches on your neck, right?
No, but I did just have.
Any bruises or scratches on your back, right?
No.
You testified that you were the one that told Keyshawn to go talk to him, right?
Correct.
So it wasn't Keyshawn saying, I'm going to go be your protector and take care of this. You're the one that encouraged him to go do that, right?
No. When I told him what happened, he instantly is like, I'm going to go holler at, I'm going to go talk to Travis.
You just told this jury that it was you who told him to go talk to him. That's what you told this jury yesterday. That's what you just answered, and now you're changing your answer. So which?
I'm not changing my answer at all. Me and him had a mutual conversation, and the mutual conversation was, I told him what happened. He said he was going to go speak with them, and I agreed.
Yesterday you told this jury that you're the one that told him to go talk to Travis.
Like I said, it was a mutual. I told him to go talk to them, and he said he was going to already on his own.
After you told him to go do it, right? That's what you told this jury yesterday.
Objection to mischaracterization and
Overrule.
Isn't that true?
Yes.
And around 2:45 in the morning, you actually gave us a sworn statement to a detective that was at the hospital. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that was Detective Ema. Is that right?
Yes.
And you didn't tell Detective Ema at 2:45 that morning, while you were giving your sworn statement under oath, subject to perjury, that you told Keyshawn to go shoot up his shit, right?
I don't remember the exact. That was the very, very first statement I ever gave in. I don't remember exactly what I said.
You never told him about the text message to go shoot up his shit, did you?
I don't recall.
Did you ever tell Detective Ema that Keyshawn texted you and Tyler back that Travis was a dead man walking? Do you remember ever telling him that?
I don't recall.
Isn't it true that you didn't?
I don't recall. Okay.
Did you read that?
Hmm?
Look over on page 130. Do you need to look at that as well?
No, this is exactly what I just said to you.
And it's true that I was asking you questions during that statement in November that are similar to the questions I just asked you now, right? About whether you shared with Detective Ema the text message that you instructed.
Are you going to object to improper impeachment?
Yeah, well, technically it is, but I'm going to allow it. Go ahead.
I asked the question, and you didn't tell Detective Ema that you had instructed Tyler and Keyshawn to go shoot up Travis's shit, right? Answer no.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, the answer says no, and I said I don't recall.
Okay. So now you recall that?
Yeah. Now that I'm reading it, you have to remember this is a year or two ago.
Right.
So my memory is a little bit more fresher back then. Okay. So if you can show me something, I have no problem owning up to it. So yes, here I did say no.
All right. So you never told Detective Ema about the text messages. Is that correct?
No, me and Detective Ema, I believe our conversation was extremely short.
Didn't you say that you turned your phone over to the detective the next day?
When the detective asked me to turn my phone in, that's when I turned it in. I don't know the exact day.
You may.
I'm showing you what's been marked as defense number 8. Seven. Defense number 7 for identification purposes. Do you recognize this?
Yep.
What is this?
I had to sign that in order to turn my phone in.
Okay, so this is a consent to search form,
Correct.
and this is your name down here on the lower right.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, and my signature.
Is that your signature? And can you tell us what date this is?
4/15.
So April 15th of 2021?
Correct.
The incident occurred on April 6th of 2021?
That has no recollection for me. You have to understand that. When they asked me to turn my phone in, that's when I turned my phone in.
Okay, so you actually signed the consent to search on April 15th of 2021. Is that correct?
Correct.
Judge, I don't think there's an objection to the admission of the evidence.
Any objection? All right, very well. It's submitted into evidence.
So that was signed by you several days after the incident, right?
Correct.
And then you turned your phone in the following day after you signed that, and you sent your friend Paloma to do that, right?
Correct.
You didn't turn your phone over to the detective directly. You sent a friend.
Correct.
And the reason you did that was you didn't want to be interviewed by the detective. Isn't that true?
No, I was already previously interviewed by her.
By Detective Ema. We've talked about that.
Exactly.
But the phone was being turned over to the lead detective in the case, Detective Vanderland. Isn't that not correct?
Correct.
And you never went to see Detective Vanderland. You sent your friend instead, right? Right?
My friend turned the phone in.
Yeah, you said yes.
Asked me this already, and I've answered yes. My friend turned the phone in.
Right, and you told the jury yesterday the reason you had your friend do it is because she lived closer
Correct.
to the detective than you did, right?
Correct.
You lived in Delray at the time?
Right.
Detectives in West Palm Beach, right?
Right.
It's about a 20-minute car ride? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
You have a car, right? You had a car back then. Yes?
Yes.
Is that a yes? You couldn't drive 20 minutes to drop your phone off to the detective?
It wasn't 20 minutes from my house, though.
How many minutes was it?
About 40.
From Delray to West Palm?
She was somewhere further. It was far from my house. It was traffic time, so I just gave it to my friend the night before, and she just turned it in after work. Okay. That's all it was.
So it's your testimony that the detective told you that you had to come during a specific time that was traffic time? Is that your testimony?
She didn't say I had to come a specific time. I came when I gave my phone when I was ready to give it to her.
You could have gone any time. There wasn't a specific time set during traffic time, right?
What's the question?
That's my question. Don't you understand?
No.
Okay. You could have dropped that phone off any time. The detective didn't say you had to come during a specific time. Is that correct?
I dropped my phone off when she asked me to drop the phone off.
You didn't. Paloma did.
Correct.
You testified yesterday that you didn't learn about all this until you were speaking with DJ. You remember that? That's what you told this jury.
Overruled. Overruled.
Answer the question, please.
I'm confused.
Okay, well, let's try to unconfuse you.
Let's start over.
Hold on. All right, go ahead. You remember telling the jury yesterday when the state was asking you questions about DJ's text? You guys texting back and forth?
Okay, that's what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. And then you told this jury that the first time you heard about all of this and that there were more people that went there besides Keyshawn was when you were talking and communicating with DJ.
But prior to this, you have to remember me, Keyshawn, and Tyler were in a group chat. Remember? You said that out of your own mouth.
You also just testified that there was a FaceTime. You told Detective Ema details about your brothers going there. Don't you remember you just testified about that?
She's chronologically way out of order.
All right.
She's just like chatting right now.
Start over again.
You are. Like, I don't even understand where you're
Stop,
going.
Ms. Jones. All right, next question. Start over again so we can get this cleared up and move on.
Your Honor, though, can I say something?
No, stop.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You knew well before you spoke to DJ in those text messages that your brother and his friends went over to Travis's house, right?
No.
You said yesterday that you began to understand who came to the Rudolph residence after and you spoke with DJ, or during the time you were speaking with DJ. You remember that?
No.
Isn't it true that you texted Keyshawn, Sebastian, and Tyler in a group text at 11:44 p.m. on April 6th? Where are you all at?
Can I see?
I'm just asking you. Do you remember that?
No, I don't recall that.
Okay. Isn't it a fact that Tyler sent a text back to you, Keyshawn, and Sebastian at 11:44 on April 6th? We're on our way right now, RN, right now. Do you remember that?
Do you remember that text? Responsive
No.
reply text, excuse me. All right, next question.
Isn't it true that Tyler sent you, Sebastian, and Keyshawn?
Do you remember whether is the proper way to ask that question?
You remember whether Tyler sent you, Sebastian, and Keyshawn a group text at 11:44 a.m. and that text saying, "I love you so much, I got you." Do you remember that?
No.
Do you remember a text at 11:44 that you sent in a group text to Sebastian, Tyler, and Keyshawn. Your response was, okay. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. Do you remember a text at 10:16 that evening, before the other text that I just read, that Tyler sent to you saying, send me his address? Do you remember that?
No.
Do you remember at 10:17 that you sent Tyler Robinson a text that said 550 Teak Drive? Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. Do you remember at 10:21 p.m. on the evening of April 6th, sending Tyler a text that where you said, tell Keyshawn come on? Do you remember that?
No.
At 10:24 p.m. that night, do you remember sending Tyler a text? Okay, you here? Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. And after the shooting took place, which was approximately midnight, do you remember at 12:58 after the shooting that you sent a group text to Keyshawn, Sebastian, and Tyler? Call.
No.
Okay. You knew, well, before you spoke to Daryl, DJ, that group of men were together and that they were at Travis's house, did you not?
I knew Keyshawn and Tyler were together. I didn't know Sebastian was there.
And you're not just trying to distance yourself, right?
Distance myself from what?
Well, you didn't want anyone to know that you were communicating with them because you didn't want to get in trouble.
Get in trouble for what?
Well, you could have been in trouble for setting this whole thing up and setting this in motion. Weren't you concerned?
Setting what up? Your client shot 84 rounds. There was no shots back. What did I set up?
Well, you sent somebody to go shoot him, didn't you?
Did he get shot?
You sent somebody to shoot him, did you not?
Did he get shot?
All right, Ms. Jones, you had to answer the questions, not ask them. All right, next question.
Okay. On April 6th, at 10:24 p.m., before the shooting, do you remember Tyler calling you?
No.
Do you remember seeing that call on your phone extraction, states number 17?
If I can't see any evidence in front of me,
I'll give it to you.
This happened 2 years ago. I don't remember. So you're going to keep receiving I'm not trying to.
You may. All right, and you've provided Ms. Jones with what?
I just provided her with state 17, which is a phone log.
Thank you.
Okay, so what was the question?
Do you remember Tyler calling you at 10:24 p.m. on April 6th?
Well, do you remember or do you not?
I'm looking through the.
Okay, but the question is, do you remember now without looking
Question is,
through
I have
everything?
to look first.
All right, so you don't remember. Is that right?
I have to look to see exactly the time. It shows you more than just somebody calling you.
All right, well, if the
Source,
lawyers are all right
it
with
shows
that,
you
I'm
the-
all right with it.
Okay, I don't remember. I'm not
Okay,
even going to get
do
into
you
that.
see?
I don't remember.
My question is, do you see?
No.
You don't even know my question, so how are you answering no?
Do I see the conversation of Tyler calling me? No.
Not a conversation, a call on your phone log.
No, I don't see it.
Okay. Do you remember at 10:52 Tyler calling you?
No.
Do you know if that's on your call log?
Who?
That call. Do you see a call on your call log at 10:52 from Tyler?
No.
Okay. Do you remember Tyler calling you, that you called Tyler at 10:58 p.m. before the shooting?
I speak to them all the time, so I don't remember.
I'm asking you if there's a call on your call log that reflects that.
No, that isn't what you asked her. You asked her if she remembers.
Do you remember?
And I said no.
Okay, and now take a look at that and tell me if you can see a call that you made to Tyler Robinson at 10:58.
I don't even know his number anymore. I don't see, so no. I'm going to say no.
Well, do you see anything in there that reflects Tyler? You had Tyler's name in his phone as what? In your phone? What was he in your phone as? Tell the jury, please.
I don't even see it. I think.
So what did you? How did you have him as your contact? What was his name in your phone?
Didn't you just hear me say I don't see it?
No, I'm asking you how you saved his name in your phone. What was his?
I don't remember. It might have been Tai, but I don't see it here.
You're still in touch with him, right? So you don't know how you put him in your phone?
You have to be specific now. You're using the present tense or the past tense? I can't tell. Ms. Perlette.
Okay. At 10:59, a minute later, on April 6th, do you remember calling Tyler?
No.
Okay. Another call at 10:59 on April 6th. Do you remember calling Tyler?
No.
At 12:20, after the shooting, now April 7th, do you remember calling Tyler?
No.
At 12:23 on April 7th, do you remember calling Tyler?
No.
12:38, do you remember calling Tyler?
No.
1:29 in the morning, do you remember calling Tyler?
No.
1:31 in the morning, do you remember calling Tyler?
No.
Now, with respect to those questions, can you tell me if you, by looking at that document, if you see any of those calls on there that we just discussed?
I don't remember his number at the time, so I can't tell you.
And again, you don't know what you saved it under, right?
At the time, sometimes he's changed numbers. So if he changed his number, I might not have saved it at the time. So no, I can't see his name right now.
So there were some text messages that we already have in evidence between you and Tyler and a third party that have Tyler's name on them. So on April 6th, he was named. You see that, that entry? It's about a quarter of the way down on the page.
Stand your ground law.
Right. You researched on your cell phone, stand your ground law. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that was at 6:41 in the morning, right?
Yes, after everything happened.
Right. A couple of hours after you spoke to Detective Ema, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
The same day on 4/7/21, at 6:41 in the morning, you also searched stand your ground law in Florida. Is that correct?
Correct.
On 4/7 at 9:01, you searched death penalty in Florida. Is that correct?
Correct.
On 4/8 of 2021, you searched accessory to murder. Is that correct?
Correct.
Why were you interested in that?
I'm searching on my phone like normal people do when they get into uncomfortable situations.
Well, when you searched up that term, accessory to murder, what did you learn?
I didn't really learn that much.
Okay.
I wasn't really looking too hard into it. I'd never been in a situation like this, so I just was looking,
Well,
literally.
What does that mean, accessory to murder?
I don't know. You're the lawyer. You tell me.
No, you're the one that said you wanted to go to law school, right?
I'm a realtor.
Do you have a college degree?
No, I have a real estate license.
Okay. So,
And why does that matter?
on April 8th of 2021 at 10:59, you searched up self-defense in Florida. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then on April 8th at 10:59, you searched self-defense, correct?
Correct.
And that was only a day after this incident, correct?
Correct.
And then on April 12th at 5:35 p.m., you searched Florida Stand Your Ground. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then on April 13th at 10:39, you searched Mark Shiner, attorney, net worth. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Why were you looking at Mr. Shiner's net worth?
Because I just knew Travis's financials, and I knew he couldn't afford, so I was just curious.
Okay, but what does Mr. Shiner's net worth have to do with Travis affording a lawyer?
Because I heard he hired him, so I was curious. I heard he was hired, so I was curious.
Okay.
I'm allowed to search anything on my phone. It's not illegal.
Okay. On April 13th at 10:51, you searched best prosecuting attorney, Palm. You remember that? Palm Beach.
Okay.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Then you searched on April 13th.
You have to remember now at this point, a lot of these aren't just my searches. People are asking me questions, and I'm using my phone to find certain things. The beginning ones, okay, yes, these definitely were me, but
So these were other people using your phone now?
they're not using my phone. That we're having conversations, and I'm typing it into my phone. It's not just me sitting there typing all this every single day.
So you're having discussions with your friends about self-defense in Florida, right?
Not necessarily about self-defense, about the entire situation.
Okay, well, you just said that some of these things weren't necessarily you. Your friends were talking to you, and you were...
We're just having an open, when you have an open discussion and you might yourself just type something in your phone. No one's telling me to type anything. No one's forcing me to. And I'm just having open discussions with people, and I'm typing it in on my own, on my phone.
I understand you're typing it, but your testimony is that you and your friends or people are having a discussion about self-defense as it relates...
That's not my testimony.
I'm asking if that's what you were doing.
No.
You and your friends having a discussion about self-defense as it relates to Mr. Rudolph's conduct.
No. I didn't think it was self-defense at all from day one.
Then why were you looking it up?
I wanted to know... Is it a crime for me to look at my phone to be knowledgeable?
No, don't ask questions, answer them.
Okay, I was trying to be knowledgeable. That's the answer.
Because it was relevant.
It wasn't relevant.
You just look up stuff that has no relevance or that you're not interested about?
I look up stuff that I'm not knowledgeable about. That's what I look up about.
Okay.
All right, there's not going to be any more argument back and forth. Ask the question, and you answer the question.
Okay.
April 13th, 2021, you searched JetBlue customer service. You remember that?
Okay.
And then on April 13th of 2021, you searched up pro bono. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And then the same day you looked up pro bono lawyer. You remember that?
Yes.
What does pro bono lawyer mean?
That was for something completely different. A pro bono lawyer takes you and they take your case for free. Yeah. It had nothing to do with... No, I wasn't looking for a lawyer. This is something completely separate that you don't even know about. So that's not relevant to the case right now.
It happened to be in the same days where you're looking up defense attorney, Mark Shiner net worth, and then you're looking for a free lawyer.
Objection to counsel testifying.
And arguing. Next question, please, sustained.
You've testified repeatedly that Keyshawn did not have his gun that night, right?
Yes.
And you've testified repeatedly that Travis was the one that had the gun and he's the one that shot Sebastian and Tyler, right?
I didn't testify that. I saw it.
You saw Travis what?
I saw Keyshawn not have his gun.
You said Keyshawn did not have his gun, right?
Correct.
Okay. So isn't it true that your research regarding self-defense would have nothing to do with Keyshawn's conduct since he didn't have a gun? The only one that had a gun, according to you, at that time, was Mr. Rudolph.
Are you asking me a question?
Yeah, that's the question.
What's the question?
Isn't it true that the reason you researched self-defense had nothing to do with your brother having a gun because you've testified repeatedly he didn't have a gun, right?
Correct. He did not have a gun.
And according to you, it was my client who had the gun and shot, right?
Correct.
And self-defense involves the use of a gun, and you're defending yourself.
Seriously.
Feel free to stand up and stretch, folks.
Then why did you look up self-defense?
Because I have an iPhone and I can look up anything I want to.
On direct examination today with Miss Edwards, you said you were asked some questions about web searches, and you said you did some of the searching in case if I need to turn myself in. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember saying that.
And what did you mean by that?
I was unaware, unknowledgeable about this entire situation, so I did some research. That's the bottom line of it. Could we please move on from this question?
Because you believed you had some culpability that you had.
If I believe I had some culpability, I would have came in with a lawyer, a paid one, not a pro bono one, and I would have made sure that I would have never spoke to any law enforcement if I thought anything was going to happen to me. Did I do that? No, I completely, from day one, agreed, turned my phone in. Anything that was asked of me, I did. So no, you have it incorrect. And that's the last time I'm speaking on that.
So you turned your phone in over a week later after you deleted items from it.
No, when they told me to turn my phone in, my phone was turned in.
And items were deleted from it, right?
And they retrieved them, is what I heard.
Okay. And you were concerned still, though.
Who wouldn't be concerned? This is not a normal situation. Of course I'm going to be concerned.
That's why you said, I needed to do this research to see if I had to turn myself in.
I research everything. I research any little thing I research. I'm a knowledgeable child. I'm sorry if you felt like this was inappropriate to research.
All right, thank you very much.
So that pretty much was the end of the defense. But let me just put this out there. The best decision to make in any heated situation is always to walk away. What you may feel right there in the heat of the moment may not reflect what you feel later, which later sometimes make us do things we may regret. So always think first, then act second. And if you like this video, I got a few others popping up on the screen right now. But that's the end of the story. Like, subscribe, let me know what y'all think in the comments, all that jazz. Be safe and stay like that.